Good evening. I'd like to call tonight's Lower McConchy Township Board of Commissioners meeting to order. If we could all please stand for a pledge of allegiance to the flag. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, for the roll call, everybody's in attendance with the exception of Vice President Ward. And Mr. Jones is not here, but Mr. Tranguch is the able-bodied fill-in for the evening. So welcome, Vince.
Thank you.
There are no agenda modifications that I know of. There are no announcements and presentations, so we'll move forward to item number 6.1. Consideration of the written decision for the conditional use hearing of Western Lehigh Services.
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Solicitor Brumman, anything to add on the written decision?
No, we worked hard to capture the conditions from the hearing. I think we captured them all. Good to go.
Okay.
We sent it to the applicant on Wednesday or Tuesday, one or the other. And we haven't heard any.
Okay. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Mike, please come up.
Mike Siegel, 1939 Astor Road. While the conditional use was done, I think you guys did an excellent job of placing the conditions on there. The problem I have with it right now is the applicant is out of compliance with his property. For the last week and a half, 2 weeks, he's been going to town out there digging up a storm. And I know the township's been informed, but and I know that hopefully there's enforcement procedures going on, but I was pretty upset that Chairman Higgins put out, told the residents there that there would be that stormwater would be looked at, and the applicant knew it. And he immediately went out there and started digging it and actually put a new driveway in on Trexlertown Road, all without the stormwater being considered out there. And there's so many violations. The fact that it went without getting land development approval and NPDS permits and PennDOT permits for the driveway. I just want to, hopefully you get across to the applicant after approval of this conditional use that, he's being carefully watched by the neighborhood and by the township for his actions that has been done out there thus far. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Mike, just for your information, for everybody's information, I did notice the same thing last week, and I reported it to staff who are addressing it accordingly. I think it's also important to note that this is just the conditional use part of this. This isn't land development, so I think behavior speaks volumes moving forward. So, but thank you for bringing that up. Any other public comments or questions?
Mr. Chairman, the only thing I'll add is that not in addition to the township being all over it, the conservation district is as well. So there'll be ramifications.
I report that. Broke the normal way of being done. And I look at as what was done with the rental unit storage at the same corner was done so fantastically well. And then they immediately do that. My heart is, I just shook my head.
Understood. Understood. Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Oh, I picked up the gavel, but okay. Moving forward, 6.2, approval of applicants for volunteer service earned income tax credit program.
Move to approve.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Do we need to read the names into the record, or is their inclusion in the agenda enough?
I think
They're included in the minutes. Okay, good. Then all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, moving forward, item 7, public comment on non-agenda topics. Mr. Siegel.
Tonight, I want to bring you guys some really good news that for the township. And I might want to make you aware of some things I've been doing for the last 2 or 3 years. About about 2 years ago, I came to the board, Safety Commission asked that flooding signs be placed along Spring Creek Road and, some other adjacent local township roads, and they were eventually placed on there. The reason was for that is because I've been actively working with the USGS people on putting remote stream gauges on the Spring Creek Bridge and the Little Lehigh Bridge on Route 100 and over by Trexlertown Road. Those gauges have been monitored by myself and the USGS and the National Weather Service for the past 2 years. This past October, they finished up their base reports, and now we have a specific level where the creek will jump out of its banks, and the township has the ability to know that on an instantaneous basis. I watch it at home when it gets to a certain level, and I know exactly when that water's hitting that road on Spring Creek Road. A lot of this is being done remotely, and those exact measurements are been taken to the Mount Holly Weather Service office in New Jersey, and they're transmitted. And the residents here now know when that road gets flooded almost immediately. If you notice the last 2 or 3 major floods that we've had on there, the National Weather Service has responded very quickly with flood warnings specifically for that area. And I wanted you to know that that work is been completed, and those gauges now are set in stone with those measurements. So I urge your Township Public Works Department as well as your staff. You can go online and sign up. It's a free, and you can know exactly when those roads start getting flooded when the creek jumps out of its banks. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Any other public comment on non-agenda topics? Seeing none, we'll move forward to communication. There is no written communication to consider this evening. Item 9, appointments to various boards, committees, and commissions. 9.1, consideration to fill the vacancy on the Planning Commission with a term to expire 1/1/25.
Move to appoint Jessica, what's the last name?
Rosenbrook.
Rosenbrook.
Rosenbrook, based on the recommendation of the Planning Commission Chairman.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to appoint Jennifer Rosenbrook to the Planning Commission. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or
well-
questions?
Okay, one comment.
Yes.
As I have stated before, I am concerned about the low level of experience on the Planning Commission and would have preferred to appoint somebody with more experience, but they will cede to the recommendation of Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Robert. Any other comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, item number 10, approval of minutes of previous meetings. 10.1, January 18th, 2024.
Move to approve.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm going to abstain. I was not at the meetings.
Okay. So that's 3 ayes and an abstention. 10.2, February 1st, 2024.
Move to approve.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And 1 abstention. Okay, bill list. Bill list for February 15th, 2024. Mr. Vital.
Thank you. We have the following for your consideration. The general fund, $229,916.05. The sewer fund, $4,044.37. The solid waste fund, $251,321.48. Capital projects fund, $385,619.56. The liquid fuel fund, $30,394.72. The payroll, $158,043.73. The developer escrow, $94,008.06. For a total of all funds, $1,153,347.97.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the transfers, bill list, and payroll. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, departmental matters. Engineering, Mr. McAdam.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have nothing to report tonight, other than I am going to stand in for Nate regarding the escrow release that's on the agenda under planner.
Okay, are there any questions for the engineer? Then moving on to planning, 12.2.1, resolution 2024-09, escrow release for Lehigh Valley Health Network Realty Holding Company for the NH McCungy project. Mr. McAdam.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, this is the Embry Land Development. This is their first escrow release. The project's actually almost finished. We're recommending the release of $1,457,487.53. There's only a few items left in the escrow, which are primarily some landscaping, the notice of termination, and as-built at this point. I believe, and Vince can confirm, I believe the buildings are both occupied. But bottom line is they're getting close to being done. So.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second to approve resolution 2024-09, escrow release for Lehigh Valley Health Network Realty Holding Company for the NH McCungy project. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, anything further for the engineer or for Mr. Tranguch?
Mr. President, I just have two updates. Thank you very much. There are no items on the agenda for the February 27th zoning hearing board meeting. So no meeting will be held this month. And there are 4 items on the March 12th Planning Commission meeting. Wild Cherry Estates sketch plan, ABE doors modification of the approved final plan, and 2 conditional use hearings, one for Hamilton Square development and one also for Al Maqasid Learning Center.
Okay,
Other than that, progress.
very good. Any further questions for Mr. Tranguch? Seeing none, moving on to solicitor. Solicitor Bruman.
Only that the denial for 3,500 Brookside went out, and I left it at your chair.
Thank you very much. Any questions for the solicitor? Okay, 12.4, Township Manager, Mr. Beidle.
Just a reminder on 2 things. One's in item 14.1. Our workshop is Monday, February 26th. We'll see a robust agenda so far that we've put together to include some presentations on the MS4 stormwater project. Hoping to have some things for the Spring Ridge Crossing Park improvements, and then some other projects that were in the budget. So that's my one item. And then the other is always with the reminder, continue to work on the trash bid for waste hauler services for this year. Always we'll keep the residents updated. Our website's updated. We anticipate some form of increase for your trash bill halfway through the year. So we want residents to keep informed and follow us, and we'll try to have a mailer go out here fairly soon as well. So want to keep that on everybody's radar so they're not caught off guard later this year when those rates might be significant compared to what people are used to. So just want to mention it at every meeting. That's all I have unless there's questions.
Okay, any questions for the Township Manager? Okay, seeing none, we will move forward with other business. Is there any old business to discuss this evening? Any new business to discuss this evening? Okay, Board of Commissioner reports. The next board workshop is February 26th at 6 p.m. The next regularly scheduled board meeting is March 7th at 6 p.m. There will be a brief executive session held this evening to discuss legal matters. And with that, we are adjourned.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, Brian.